KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust. Serving Micronesia since 1938, Matson celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus, Guam's leader in sustainability and electric vehicles. Learn more at carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on your news leader, the candidates for Attorney General duke it out. A look inside the AG forum led by the Guam Chamber of Commerce, the discussion getting pretty heated. Plus, nearly 3 months later, police arrest the Navy sailor accused in a serious car crash that sent another man to the hospital. We hear from his family now that he's recovering. And there's a noticeable spike in homeless across the island. Daniel Perez with the latest on what officials are doing to help get them off the streets.
Hafade and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Primetime. I'm Hannah Devonzo.
And I'm Nick Delgado. Thanks for joining us.
69 days until the general election, and things just got real. The candidates vying to be the chief legal officer went head-to-head during a forum at the Hilton Resort in Tumon, hosted by the Guam Chamber of Commerce.
It was a heated exchange between Attorney General Levin Camacho and former AG Doug Moylan. See for yourself.
The candidates for Guam Attorney General Levin Camacho and Douglas Moylan took turns taking jabs at one another.
The AG decides what cases should be prosecuted, what cases shouldn't be prosecuted, assesses what your resource capability is. That's why they call him a general. They call him a general because he hires the troops, the deputies, in order to protect you. This man is not doing that. He is incompetent.
Now, one of the things that Attorney Moylan forgot to leave out in terms of an accomplishment or something notable, he was evicted from the judiciary for not failing to pay rent. So if we're going to talk about incompetence and management, he was held by the court, the Supreme Court, to have violated a court order, this is in a Supreme Court opinion, to not discuss or interfere in an ongoing criminal matter. Now, I'm not here to run on what Attorney Moylan did when he was in office, but to say that somehow I'm incompetent.
The questions coming from the Guam Chamber of Commerce, the discussion focused on crime and safety.
This election is about whether you feel safe. It's about Guam's increasing crime problem.
Everyone deserves to feel safe in their home and in their workplace. And today, people are scared.
The pair asked how they would handle plea deals for drug cases.
You need to have plea agreements, but he is giving away the farm on how he's doing his plea agreements. His opening statement said it all. For serious crimes, we're going to incarcerate people. No, you do not, and that is a progressive statement. You incarcerate anyone that commits the crime. You ask the judge to incarcerate them.
I know Mr. Moylan is a big fan of mass incarceration, but we can't just bury our head in the sand and think that you're going to put someone in jail and that's going to magically cure their addiction problem. I want to be clear. If you are bringing in drugs, if you are dealing drugs, you need to be held accountable. You need to go to jail.
When asked what they would do in their first 90 days,
I'm recruiting. That is the top priority, to fix what this Attorney General has done to that office.
We've done all this, the collections, the litigation, and COVID. All I'm asking for is a chance to continue. Give me 4 real years, not COVID years, to finish the work and to complete the job that I've started.
First time I've ever heard of COVID years. That sounds like an excuse. He should have used that time to protect us. Just because we're in a lockdown doesn't mean that the criminals are in a lockdown.
each one picking apart their management styles and answering to the concern that criminals are easily being let out of prison.
We are in the community. Our prosecutors live here. They want the bad guys to stay in jail. They don't want them out. They are victims themselves. So to act like our dedicated prosecutors somehow want crime to be rampant is ridiculous.
Mr. Camacho is wrong. The prosecutors put the cases together. They go before the grand jury. They have the police reports. The people deserve protection. It's not happening in the AG's office.
You can't stand up here with a straight face and say the decision to release a defendant is the AG's decision. That's absolutely false. It's wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong.
It was definitely a forum that seemed more like a debate between the two candidates. We have the entire forum streaming right now on demand on KUAM News Facebook and on our KUAM's YouTube channel.
And the Chamber also has a gubernatorial forum planned for next Wednesday on September 7th. Candidates for governor are Governor Lou Leon Guerrero and Felix Camacho, and they will take questions, and KUAM will be there providing you the Decision 22 coverage.
Well, is Delegate Michael San Nicolas pushing support for gubernatorial team Camacho at it? Take a look at this photo circulating just today. The image showing San Nicolas standing between former Governor Felix Camacho and Senator Tony Addett. KUAM has learned that San Nicolas and Camacho had met on Tuesday night. We reached out to Camacho about it.
The only thing I can say is I don't know how that photo or where that photo came from. I can say that if any statement is to be made or anything of this, it must be from the congressman first. I must honor and respect.
Meant to offer. We did reach out to San Nicolas and we await a response. Now, the delegate lost his bid for governor during the primary to Governor Lou Leon Guerrero, who would challenge Camacho in November. Just today, the San Nicolas Salas Mezzanotte campaign issuing a statement on social media saying, quote, "As we made our way around the island on primary election day, it was so moving to see from the heart of volunteers doing their very best to give us a presence at the polls. Your time and energy was so cherished by us and will forever be remembered. We love you and thank you for helping us share our love for Guam."
And the driver who plowed through a Tamuning intersection, nearly killing a man in another car, has been placed under arrest. Police confirming the new information today. The arrest coming nearly 3 months after the crash. 21-year-old Navy sailor Hunter Neil Reichert was arrested for causing a serious crash that left a man fighting for his life. The sailor was arrested for speeding in a posted zone, vehicle forfeits right-of-way at intersection due to unlawful rate of speed, disobeyed red traffic light, and reckless driving with injuries. As KUAM News reported on June 5th, Reichert's large pickup truck sped through the intersection at Fairnhold Avenue and crashed into 37-year-old Joseph Gamboa's car in the early hours of the morning. Gamboa was left in critical condition, suffering multiple rib fractures, a broken collarbone, damage to his brain, among other things. We spoke with his brother, Roy Gamboa, following news of the arrest.
Our family is still focused on Joe's recovery. While he's made drastic improvements, there are still some issues that we are working out with his neurologist and his therapist. He can't fly for at least 8 months. He can't do any type of strenuous activities, obviously, because of the cranial damage.
As for why it took months to take Reichert into custody, police say they were waiting for Gamboa to recover and be well enough to speak with investigators.
It's very frustrating that it took this long. However, we preferred that it be as thorough as possible and the case be handled as professionally as possible.
Gamboa's family has a message for drivers on island.
All we ask people is just, slow down. Slow down and get to where you need to be. No single life or injuries that any family has to suffer is worth being there. If you're late, you're late. Use your phone, just communicate. And we just ask everybody to just, continue the prayers. The prayers have helped my brother with his recovery.
Reichert has since been released and he remains in the military. The case was forwarded to the Attorney General's office. Now to an update on the threat that forced a lockdown at the Guam Memorial Hospital over the weekend. 64-year-old James Uggan was arrested on suspicion of terroristic conduct. Police say Uggan allegedly threatened to blow up the hospital on Saturday. Authorities found no threat. It was on Monday the Community Crimes Task Force found Uggan and made the arrest. He has since been released from custody and the case was sent to the AGs for prosecution.
Homelessness on the island doesn't appear to be easing up since the closure of the global dorm shelter in Mighty. Only one now remains in operation. That's the shelter in the Tamuning Plaza. Daniel Perez speaks with officials from OHAP to get to the bottom of what's being done to help those in need.
As the island's issue on homelessness continues, what are agencies such as the Office of Homelessness Assistance and Poverty Prevention doing to curb it? Executive Director of OHAP, Robert San Augustine, gave the rundown.
We want to try to increase the awareness for what we do here at the OHAP office, so we've created the social media pages, Instagram, Facebook. Our number here is 475-2081 if anybody wants to call, has questions about benefits or housing. We'll do what we can to refer or take care of the problem in-house.
And since OHAP shares an office with a new relief center that just opened up on the 3rd floor of the Bank of Hawaii building in Agana, they also assist with other things to help those in need.
That's what the relief center is made for, to make sure that they have their SNAP benefits, Medicaid, food stamps, and then the housing is like the biggest thing.
When it comes to housing for the island's less fortunate, it's a challenge. This is mainly because the only shelter open right now is at max capacity, and there's a waiting list for those who want to seek refuge there.
It's at full capacity, and at that time there was a waiting list of 80 people. So it's even way beyond. I think the capacity there is maybe 20 or 30 rooms, and so it is a big waiting list over there.
As for the second homeless shelter to open in the island's capital, it's still under renovations.
We're still actually in the beginning points of the renovation. We are looking at the logistics for getting the materials here, and then going through the bidding portion of getting the work started. So that's going to start after the materials are received. We're actually securing the fence area right now. So that'll be the first portion of the work to be done, and then hopefully within the next month or two we start getting the materials and things to start getting the units ready.
Renovations to be done include plumbing, the fixtures, kitchen areas, cabinets, and flooring of the units. San Agustin says that he hopes that the renovations will be complete within 6 months. Daniel Perez reporting for KUAM News.
Thanks, Daniel. Well, still to come on your news leader, after a decline in attendance due to the COVID pandemic, Northern Marianas schools are back in session with a notable increase in students.
And in national headlines, Artemis 1 will attempt its mission to the moon over the weekend after engine issues delayed Monday's launch. These stories and more coming up next on KUAM News Primetime.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
The rising cost of living is affecting all of us on Guam. Our administration has expanded a program. We want to pay for your child's daycare up to $675 a month per child. This means more money in your pocket to pay for other expenses like the cost of gas and groceries. The Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration is investing in Guam's future, and that starts by supporting our working families. We are all in this together, Guam.
This ad is paid for by government funds at the Office of the Governor and the Department of Public Health and Social Services.
I have a phone. I have no TV. Ooh, TV on phone. Get live TV on your phone or any device with DTV Plus from Docomo Pacific. Watch live channels or stream from your favorite apps on any device, all from your home Wi-Fi. No cable lines, no hassle, more savings. All for only $35 a month with your link bundle. DTV Plus, your cable TV on Wi-Fi. Ooh, TV on phone.
Felix and Tony, Camacho Adam. Felix and Tony, Camacho Adam. They're the right reason for a new season. Together we rise.
I'm Felix Camacho, and I approve this message.
Guam was once home to over 12 native species of forest birds, each with their own unique sound, color, and role to play in our ecosystem. However, the arrival of the brown tree snake has threatened their existence. Today, only 3 of these species still exist in the wild. But what was once lost can be restored. Join the Department of Agriculture's efforts to restore our ecosystem. It is only through partnerships with various organizations and the community that we can give our native birds a future. Support snake suppression.
Subscribe to our KUAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KUAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KUAM Communications. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam on Demand.
Welcome back. After spending much of Tuesday deliberating on the fiscal year 2023 budget, lawmakers finally wrapped up on the bill and allowed it to be engrossed by legal staff. Session was recessed till 9 p.m. this evening for vote. The Guam legislature has until midnight tonight to submit a spending plan for fiscal year 2023 to Governor Lulian Guerrero.
And turning to regional headlines, the island of Yap reports 197 new cases of COVID-19 in a day as the Federated States of Micronesia continue to battle its first community wave of cases. The total cases count for the FSM is over 7,000. There are 26 total reported deaths due to COVID. Yap State media reports that the youngest COVID-19 positive resident is a partially vaccinated 1-year-old boy, and the oldest is 69 years of age, unvaccinated and pronounced dead on arrival. Public schools on Yap were closed on Tuesday in response to the spike. Yap confirmed its first community spread in early August. The FSM has a vaccination rate above 80%. And over in the Northern Marianas, attendance rates are at an all-time high in the public school system after a dip due to the pandemic. As students return to the classroom, officials work around the clock to repair classrooms. Our regional correspondent, Tomas Manglutnia, joins us from Saipan with the full story. Tomas?
About 10,000 students are in their first month back to school, and the public school system is hard at work, rebuilding classrooms, recovering from the super typhoon, and also installing solar panels to get the public school system completely off the grid.
Attendance-wise, all the students are coming to school. All of the students are coming to school.
It's been 2 weeks since the first day of school bell rang in the Northern Marianas, a return to the new normal as face masks are optional on campus and students return to classes in person.
We're excited to have a year with very little disruption.
But they're still picking up the pieces left by Typhoon U2 in 2018.
We are excited to be getting our new buildings from FEMA projects. We have a cafetorium coming up, and then over here it's supposed to be the new building C for our first graders. We lost 7 classrooms.
The Commissioner of Education says Hopwood Middle School is expecting to get temporary classrooms on campus by the end of the year. They lost 20 out of their 40 classrooms in the typhoon, costing $26 million in FEMA repairs. Students attend classes in double sessions there. The school system is also looking forward to being virtually 100% solar powered.
I believe we have a month and a half more to go to complete all of the campuses. And there will be a ceremony regarding that. So I'm really excited about that because that is a savings of over $1 million of utilities for the year.
Tomas Manglutnia for KUAM News on Saipan.
Thanks, Tomas, for that report. And in more regional headlines, the CNMI continues to see an uptick in tourist arrival numbers. The latest report from July shows 10,367 visitors that month, compared to just 1,197 at the same time last year. The Marianas Visitors Authority, the fiscal year so far, saw over 50,000 visitors to Saipan, Tinian, and Rota, compared to just over 3,000 last year. Those arrivals are boosted by the increased flights to the region from South Korea. Saipan saw an increase of 6 flights last July to 61 flights in a month alone this year. And there is more expected as the Narita to Saipan route opens up on September 1st.
Well, NASA's New Moon rocket is scheduled to blast off again this weekend. The Artemis 1 test flight was initially scheduled to launch Monday from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, but experienced some major hiccups. Skylar Henry reports.
Launch Director Charlie Blackwell-Thompson has called a scrub for today.
Just a day after its expected blast-off, NASA officials say plans are back on to successfully launch NASA's Artemis 1 on a monumental mission around the far side of the moon.
We agreed to operationally change the loading procedure and start our engine chill down earlier, and we also agreed to move our launch date to Saturday, September the 3rd.
The space agency was forced to scrub the first launch attempt Monday after discovering a leak and running into engine issues.
This is a brand new rocket. It's not going to fly until it's ready.
Thousands who gathered at Kennedy Space Center hoping to see history were left disappointed.
Now that it's not happening, it's just, it just kind of sucks.
It's like being at a game where your team doesn't win.
still good to go.
The unmanned rocket, the most powerful in NASA's history, is a critical mission for the space agency as it attempts to put astronauts back on the lunar surface as soon as 2025. The eventual goal is to establish a long-term human presence on the moon and uncover new discoveries about planet Earth.
Skylar Henry reporting for KUAM News.
Well, another delay, Hannah. It's still time for if you want to go to the moon.
I think I'm okay right here.
She's staying grounded. Well, stay tuned. Next is Dave Delgado with your sports roundup.
And still to come, your birthday shout outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. You're watching KUAM.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Santa Fe family.
All that melty cheese you crave with double the steak is back at Taco Bell. The double steak grilled cheese burrito.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. Tonight on the show, I'm interviewed with Tony Diaz from the Local Strains racing team to talk about the upcoming 2K and 5K event going to be held at the Paseo Stadium. Check it out. The 2022 Local Strains Motocross Team 2K and 5K Fun Walk Run takes place on September 10th at the Paseo Stadium. Showtime for the run is at 5 in the morning with go time set for 6 a.m.
You can register at Cycles Plus Guam in Mighty and Southern Mountain Gear in Hagåtña. Or you can give me a call at 671-687-0182 or follow us on Instagram at LocalStrains49. We will also be at the Guam Running Club's run down at Ipao. This Saturday morning, we'll be down there set up. Come on down, register with us. We'll be there from 6:30 to 8 o'clock.
Race day fees are $10 per person, $35 for a group of 4, and $15 on race day.
So this is one of our ways that we want to give back. We want to give back to all the riders and all the participants for our 2022 season. You know, for all their hard work and all their efforts that they put into waking up every month on a Sunday and going out there and riding hard. So, you know, we are pretty excited and very proud of each and every one of them.
Registration will be held from now to the day of the event on September 10th.
The Local Strains Motocross Racing Team and many Guam riders were invited to Saipan this November 26th, 27th, to participate in the Turkey Fest motocross race.
In other news, the University of Guam Triton Athletics and Fieldhouse Department and International Health Providers, IHP, have partnered together to provide free physicals for the Triton Athletics varsity sports programs. UOG Athletics Director Doug Palmer stated, "This has been one of our biggest needs in the department since we restarted varsity athletics at UOG to find a group to provide physicals for our student athletes as well as provide other medical services to our department in the future."
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
We knew it was time to make these when we started asking things like, wouldn't it be nice to be able to get a warm cinnamon roll right now? And why can't this kind of muffin come from the same place as a McMuffin? And isn't your coffee lonely without company from a glazed apple fritter? Well, consider these our 3 resounding yeses. Meet the new bakery sweets at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
During the pandemic, that's the time that we're closed for 1 year. So the payment that me and my daughter we bring home, let's just say $500 a month or $600. My rent is $850. Then I contact the rental assistant. They say that I'm approved. I really so happy. Kiri so tabur, maridi God, kiri so yeri God. Ren me de Governor Lulian Guerrero and Charles Refer Ngeri Arabas Igerai. Reri Kei Begin Arinis. Mi Dori Arabas is a money Philippine. Ren took Panabe, any kind of lacility. She really helped us out for the rent. Kiri so tabur. God bless, Governor. Yes.
This ad was paid for by the Department of Administration using federal funds.
JA Guam is inviting high school students to this year's JA Company program. You can register at ja-guam.org and learn about the different industries to consider for your future careers. Please join us on September the 10th at the GCC Multipurpose Room to kick off the JA Company program. Again, that's ja-guam.org. Register today. Sponsored by Bank of Hawaii, IP&E, Triple J Enterprises, SBDC, Title Guarantee, Graphic Center, Matson, GPO, Deloitte, GTA, Tan Holdings Guam, Outback, Guam Green Growth, Community First, and KUAM.
Welcome back. We wrap up the show with your birthday shout-outs. Here's Jason Salas.
Happy birthday on the last day of August to Leonard Isaiah Torrey, who celebrates birthday number 15 in 2022. Leonard, you are getting love from Nina, Nino, and the entire family. I love this name, guys. Happy 13th birthday to our big boy, Rad Morales. That's awesome. We're hoping and praying you stay healthy. We thank God because he gave us a talented and smart son, and we love you so much. Love Mommy, Riza, Daddy Kenneth, your sisters, Roe, and Raya. And Rad, we hope you have a totally rad birthday. Taya Ryan, happy first birthday to Taya. You get love from Mommy, Daddy, your brothers, and the family who say, we love you plenty.
Happy birthday to all of you. Now you can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Just check out KUAM.com. And that's our show. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Hannah Devonzo, and please stay safe, Guam. Good night.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. and IT&E.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to another edition of In Full Zoom. I'm Nestor Lecanto, and it's my great pleasure to welcome on this week's show representatives of the Sisters of Mercy, who are here to talk about the 70th anniversary of the Infant of Prague Nursery. And let me introduce them first. We have Sister Marian Arroyo, Mother Superior, Sister Bridget Paris, and Erencia Saipueric. Did I get that right, Sister?
Saipueric, yes.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so I mentioned we're here to talk about an upcoming major celebration. But before we get to that, I wanted to ask you guys to tell us a little bit more about the nursery itself and its history. And let me start with you, Sister Marian. First of all, why the Infant of Prague? Where did that name come from?
Maybe Sister Bridget might be able to tell you about the why Infant of Prague. I was one of the young ones who came in maybe 2 or 3 years after it was established, and I came in as a baby. So maybe I'm going to pass that on to Sister Bridget.
All right, Sister Bridget, please.
Good morning. Yeah, at that particular time, because the nursery was open even before I became one. But I was, first of all, I was part of that maybe four years later. But the infant, because of the fact that we are to take care of little boys and girls, I guess the superior at that particular time thought that that was the best patron or saint to name after that daycare, Infant of Prague Nursery. And I know it started since 1950. And of course, parents we were reaching out to parents that are really trying to survive, to find jobs. And of course, parents, one person working is not enough to sustain the whole family. So then mothers do have their own professional, training or education, and they have to reach out to education, because that's what we have to build up at that particular time, is to build up our education system, of course, the government, and also our stores, the commercial stores and whatever we need, because they're very minimal. Guam is at that particular time is not what it is now. It's sure very different. When you talk about the children also at that particular time is very different now. I mean, I see that. So the intention of that really was for us to be of service to mothers, to be compassionate to mothers, to be loving, and to show forth whatever is the greatest to give to the human race. And that's what we have a strong passion to, help one another at that time after the war.
And I do want to add on to that, Sister Bridget, if I may,
Yeah, sure.
that that we're also celebrating our 75th anniversary, having been established here on Guam, the Sisters of Mercy, and we came right after the war at the request of Bishop Baumgardner, and so we came in 1946, and so we have a year celebration of our 75th. Now, the Infant of Prague is a sponsored ministry of the Sisters of Mercy. We actually own, we sponsor the institution, and it really was, as Sister Bridget said, it was in compassionate, the parents at the time who probably both had to work, to help rebuild the island. Now, I would like to share a little bit about myself. And I said, I guess I was a little caught by surprise that why was it named Infant of Prague? I think because of the infant, and the miracles that have come forth from the infant of Jesus, and how close our children are to that. When I first came on board, it was probably, I was born in 1954. Yes, you can do the math on that. And so I think both my parents were working. My mother was principal at PD Elementary School, and my father was working at Navy. And I came far. I was like the last one of the Mohegans. I followed 6 brothers. And I came in kind of late, so everybody was, up and about, not necessarily a whole bunch of people to take care of me, but maybe my Auntie Fina, but it was not so much that there was nobody to take care of me, but it was that because had established Infant of Prague and kindergarten, they time, or the parents at the time, but of course my mother, being the educator, she thought it would be really wonderful to to have the sisters take care of the young. And so I was talking to my brother, Monsignor Bibi, and he said, well, the reason why Mom really wanted you to go was so that you would be immersed in the faith. And I was really very touched by that. I just thought, wow, they were very serious about their children being immersed in the faith.
Yeah, and Eric shared a story about your family history with the Infant of Prague. Can you want to share that?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Polly Eric shared a story about your family history with. You want to explain that?
Bridge?
Actually, I started working in 1955 for the Infant of Prague Nursery, not knowing that Sister Marion was in the baby room.
That's the story.
That's the story. I didn't know in the baby room because I was taking care of 2-year-old. And then finally, I was moved from 2-year-old to teach kindergarten. And then that's when I had her. I had her in kindergarten class, not knowing that was Sister Marion.
Yes, so that was the beginning of the baby.
Yeah,
the
of the
parents
infant.
really wanted to have, oh my gosh, they trusted this. They had confidence in the sisters. They were comforted that their children would be raised with loving care. And I think that's what we have on our logo there. Rooted in mercy and loving care.
Loving care.
Showing our little ones for compassionate leadership. When you look at a lot of the leaders today, a number of them,
yes,
a great number of them went through Infant of Prague, and so we really do have quite a legacy.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
Half a day. I'm Kelina from Doc's Kitty College.
And I'm Kristen from Doc's Daycare and Preschool.
And we are so honored to be caring for the children of Guam. The governor's child care programs help businesses like ours to really focus on the kids. These programs also help nonprofits and after-school programs and grandparents and so many families.
Visit www.guamchildcare.com to learn more about the governor's child care programs. This ad is paid for with funds administered by DPHSS.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
I'm going to ask you guys a little bit more about that and the who's who of the graduates, if you will, of the Infant of Prague. But let me bring in Sister Rencha to the conversation. So you're the current administrator, Sister. Tell us a bit about how the nursery is these days.
We're striving. Of course, we went through COVID. That was a lot of work that added to the load that we do here at Infant of Prague. We're struggling, the enrollment is a bit down, but we're still going. God see us through this. We went through COVID. I still have people calling in, because I have the babies. I have 3-month-old babies up to kindergarten. So I still have people calling in if I have, and I feel bad because sometimes I don't have any more rooms. And I want to accommodate, with the COVID we just went through it. I remember we have to have a certain amount of kids, not to have too many because of social distancing. And I minister to a fragile age here, but so far we're good. So far so good. God is seeing us through. I still have kids here that I minister to. I won't do all this without my staff, wonderful ladies. Some of them have been here 30 years in the ministry. I just came on board 4 years. This is my 4th year. I remember Sister Marianne is my leader, and she called me 3 times. Can you come back and minister at Infant of Rock? And I say, I don't want, I already finished, but we are mindful of where we are called to serve. We are needed, so I keep my vows of service and love to God's people. But Infant of Prague, we're going so far so good. We continue. Many people think that we're just babysitters, but our job is very important. We heard it from somewhere that we are brain developers. This is the first foundation of their learning, of their development. So we just don't change diapers and babysitting, but we do a lot of things that help them on their way with their developmental stages, getting them ready for the school age. So we're doing a good job, a good ministry with them, forming them, getting them ready, learning whatever they need in their different developmental stages. So 70 years is a lot. I'm just adding on 4 years now, but it's a blessing. It's a long day, I will say that, long day from morning until mom and dad gets off work. We're still here. I'm always the first one in and last one out of the building. So this is how dedicated we are to the ministry of serving the needs of our little ones, the needs of parents who need to go to work to make their ends meet. So far, so good.
Absolutely. Sister Bridget, you are heading up the anniversary celebration. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we are preparing for the liturgy. We have the liturgy at the Agani Cathedral Basilica at 9:30 Mass. And then we have a brunch following at the Hyatt Regency. And we do have a ticket, that to get in, of course. And it's just very overwhelming though right now because of, I'm sure, and when people watch this, they'll be going high wire because there's so many of them that are anniversary. So we're just fingers that everything will run well, and with the blessings of Almighty God for servicing our people at this particular time, way back and now. So it's a tremendous blessing, really, honestly, for me, especially for me, because I'm the oldest one in this group, that have gone through all this. I've been in that nursery, I would say 3 times, going in and out, working here and there, So I was there in the 50s, 60s, 70s. Then I went work somewhere else, then came back on the 80s. And of course, right now I am not working. I'm glued into the archival work. But the institution, I mean, the it's not a fundraising, but it's a celebration for the children that we have cared in the past, to come and share their love stories, whatever, walking down the lane, or funny blessings, whatever they come up with to share. So be a very meaningful, heart fulfilling actually for us, knowing that there's so many. I can enumerate some of them. Mr. Marion is one of them.
Yeah.
And we have the lieutenant governor is one of them.
Yeah. I was going to ask you guys to maybe each drop about 4 or 5 different names so that they'll show up, right? Yeah. So let me go ahead, Sister Bridget. Give me some 4 or 5 names of our prominent
I told some of them already, and they said, "Oh, I want my stories," because they have funny stories, I mean, We do have our own stories to tell too. But there's a lot. They're excited. Uh, Amanda Shelton would love to tell her story too because she was there. Sunny Ada is one of them. And when I went to Sunny Ada, I can see the tears in his. But of course, he remembered very clearly the hill to say the rosary and pray and crown me. That came out from his mouth. That hit me because that we brought faith to those kids, no matter what. And it's for him is outdoor. Thank God it didn't rain at that particular time. So a lot of this really, brought back good memories. And we are these individuals. They were men and women um, helping out in the community, the greater. Like for example, Mark Forbes was there. I mean, I remembered Mark, Anne Marie Mooney, Lolling Souder, Kathy Calvo. There's quite a number. I could go down the list, and but we're gonna. We're sharing.
All right.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
The rising cost of living is affecting all of us on Guam. Our administration has expanded a program. We want to pay for your child's daycare up to $675 a month per child. This means more money in your pocket to pay for other expenses like the cost of gas and groceries. The Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration is investing in Guam's future, and that starts by supporting our working families. We are all in this together, Guam.
This ad is paid for by government funds of the Office of the Governor and the Department of Public Health and Social Services.
Hey, can we talk? Okay.
Mobile offers a new and convenient way to fuel your vehicle. Pay gas and go. No need to line up inside the store. Press preset. Enter whole dollar amount without decimals. Press Loyalty ID and enter your mobile number or insert Smiles card. Insert and remove payment card or tap contactless credit card. Begin fueling. And don't forget to grab your receipt. Pay gas and go. It's that easy.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
Sister Mary, this is fun. Keep dropping some names. And I'm sure they were all very well-behaved babies, right?
Oh, yes. Patrick Palomo.
Sabino Flores was one of my classmates. And
Carmen Cabo.
I do want to say that, it is amazing in terms of her memory. I mean, like so many things as a young kid, I would not have remembered that. But she reminded me of the band, the instrument band. And she would photos and say, well, there you are. This is the birthday. And she could name all these kids. And I'm like, oh my God. Textbook, a history book. It's amazing. And I think she's well placed in our archives for the sisters. She's got the resources that she needs to just pull out for our memory lane. But I want to thank Sister Bridget for her work, and of course Sister Erencia for her ongoing work with our children.
I understand Juan Flores also, the Calfos,
yes,
the Torreses. I just heard, I'm only 4 years in the ministry, but I heard from you sisters that, yeah.
And Sister Erencia, I'm sure that a lot of the children who went to the Infant of Prague nursery are now parents themselves and brought their children to the.
I'm telling you, many
tell me
of them
who
will
those
walk
are.
in. Yes. Oh gosh, I cannot really remember. Michael, what's his name? Michael Bautista He just registered his daughter, and he said, "Sister," I said, "I remember you because when I first entered the community, I started, they put me here for training. So I said, you're the aquaquat, the 3-year-old little boy with the haircut." So I have a lot of parents who have been here themselves. Of course, there are new ones that's registered. I have grandparents who come in and say, "My child was here, I was here." So it's like a continuation of family tradition that they come back. They trust us to come back here and enroll their kids because they have been here. And like I said, many of them will call on the phone and, I said, "I'm sorry, but I don't have any more room for that age. Sister, we have been going through Infant of Rock, and so many of them are parents themselves here. They're grandparents of Infant of Rock that I just met them, now. But there were some that I remember from my time when I was a postulant, just entered the community. Yes.
Sister Bridget, you're raising your hand. I think you've got a whole
Actually,
lot of history of grandparents to parents.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I went to be with Sister Reza to meet for something else. And I met this parent, came in to register somebody. And I said, "Oh, what's your name?" And of course, she gave me her name. I forgot the first name, but Augustine is the last name. And she said, "I'm here to register my great-granddaughter." I said, "Great-granddaughter." Just imagine, that means she herself put her daughter there, then her daughter's daughter, and the daughter's daughter. And I looked at her and I said, "How old are you?" Because for me, I would be thinking maybe 80 some or 90, you know. Um, and I'm amazed that she was even carrying a photo of the baby, her child that she left there, that she put, for our care. And then she took out a picture of her daughter and the daughter's daughter. So that's the third generation. I mean, I was touched that particular day. I was teary actually because to meet somebody, I was, tasked to do this celebration, but I was meeting with Sister. I went up there to get something. And then lo and behold, the door rang and she came in and I introduced, of course, myself, and then I asked her name. And that's how I found out that we are on our third generation. I said, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing."
It is amazing. Sister Marion, you guys must be doing something right? What is it? What's the secret?
Well, I think it's God's gift, and just our attentiveness to the needs of our people, and then just finding ways to sustain the ministry. I think that's always the fundraising, certainly the relationships that we have with our parents and all who support Infant of Prague. We just continue with that. And I think the kids are so grateful, and they grow up to be, adults and, citizens, of our society, and they recognize where this came from. And it's like the book says, everything I learned about life, I learned at kindergarten. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, you can probably go back to some of those basic skills that, that were taught and learned. And I'm just amazed, when I look at when we started, and that was almost right after the war. We were the first daycare, Catholic daycare, and they were saying, yeah, the first daycare, but I don't want to, I don't want to assume. So I'm saying we could say that we were the first Catholic daycare on the island, and we're still ministering.
And Sister Rencha, let me ask you to weigh in on that, and we'll wind up with Sister Bridget. But Sister Rencha, that mission that Sister Marion just spoke of is true then as it is today, yes?
Yes, it is. And we're not only teaching them, I will personally speaking for myself, they taught me a lot about life, basins and all that. So I think that's what many parents were also looking at in our Catholic faith, forming them in the Catholic education and all that. but they taught us a lot. You know, when I first came on board, I was like, oh boy, this is, but it's blessings in abundance blessings upon our ministry and us who are ministering to the little ones here. I truly learn a lot from the kids, you know, and the parents also. And I become to very, you know, appreciate respecting them for who they are and the trust that they have in us. Like I said earlier, we won't do it without our dedicated staff. You know, without them, our ministry won't be where we are now because of them. But I do learn a lot from the little ones and their parents. Just the relationship, yes. But it is a blessing, like I said, praises and blessings. I still have little ones that just started. It's a lot of crying when they first started. You hear a lot of crying. Sometimes, you know, cry almost for mommy and daddy, but they get used to it and they're fine on their way. So we're okay.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
I want my streaming. I want my TV. Ooh, streaming TV. Switch between live TV and your favorite streaming apps with DTV Plus from Docomo Pacific. Watch your shows in multiple devices all at the same time, all from your home Wi-Fi. No cable lines, no hassle, more savings for only $35 a month with your Link bundle. DTV Plus, your cable TV on Wi-Fi. Ooh, streaming TV.
MTO Maintenance will now completely sanitize your home, office, or business with state-of-the-art commercial sprayers. For over 30 years, MTO Maintenance has been committed to the health and safety of our customers. And now, more than ever, a clean home, office, carpets, and furniture is a necessity to our island. Give us a call today. Stay healthy and stay safe, Guam.
Call 647-6861 for an appointment.
Santa Fe Family. In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
And Sister Bridget, let's wind up with you. You'll have the last word. Tell us what this event means to you. What a 70 years anniversary means to you, and just invite folks to participate.
Actually, it's a lot of blessings in our lives as mercies. That's a great blessing to look beyond and go. I mean, look at our island, and we know that these are some of the individuals that really have shared, the parents have shared the love for us to share with their children. But just imagine from 7 to 5, that's 50 hours a week to care for children. And that experience actually is a joyful one, because many times that when you see parents dropping their kids, they're running in. Sometimes they don't want to go home. I said, no, it's time for mommy. So there's always, you know, when you reflect back, really, I mean, you can only say that God is so good. Our Blessed Mother, the Infant of Prague, has been a blessing for all of us, for all our parents that we have taken care of. Or we don't take and we meet them somewhere else. And we are thankful, very, very thankful for this ministry, because we know that we have built up our community, our island, our faith, and